Welcome to my podcast. This is my podcast. It's called the Speakeasy Comedy Podcast.
Oh, look at those arms.
You like?
Arturo. Ooh, ooh,
We were talking about working out inside, actually. That's fun.
So you don't drink coffee?
No, but you're going to hate this. Can I have a sip of yours?
I'm not going to be the reason you relapse today,
I just need a little sugar. Ooh, this looks good. It looks like it was creamy.
It's got maple syrup. It's probably not that good because I don't have cream.
Well, that's not bad. I generally don't drink coffee. Like, I do ice caps, but only because, like, it's just sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's definitely a dopamine high I get from when I drink coffee. I get kind of erratic because I don't drink anything. I don't have energy drinks. I don't drink coffee.
That's really good.
I just have water.
Do you vape?
No, I don't do anything.
You're the only sober guy I've ever met who doesn't vape or do energy drinks. So that's a green flag, Arturo.
Or smoke. I don't smoke.
That's awesome.
I don't get that. Like, here's the thing. I tried smoking when I was younger because I was like, I'm going to meet chicks, you know? I'm going to go to a party and, like, give them a smoke and we'll start talking, It's
and we'll get married.
Yeah.
Have a cigarette wedding.
And so I started, like, because I started drinking when I was, like, 10, right? And so I started going to parties when I was, like, 12, 14. Like, you know, like, that's a weird age range. But I started going to parties when I was 12. So I was like, so I went to my first, like, party when I was, like, 12, 13. And then I had a pack of smokes. And I was like, I'm going to meet chicks this way, you know? I'm going to get laid, And so I woke up from after the party and, like, my throat was filled with, like, tar.
Yeah.
And my smokes were just gone.
Ah.
And so I asked my friends.
That's accurate. That's what happens.
Yeah, I asked my friends. I was like, did I meet any chicks? Did I talk to anyone? And then they're like, no, you stood in the corner drunk smoking cigarettes by yourself.
Oh, no.
And then, like, apparently what happened, I was like, they would go talk to me. And my friend Brian would try to, like, go talk to me. And he's like, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm doing something. And, like, I would just, like, puke. And, like, that was the whole...
Just puke right in the corner.
Yeah, that
Keep
was my whole party experience. Well, not my whole party experience, but that was, like, a big portion of my party experience. And that's probably, like, a good... that was a good flag of, like, me being an addict. Because, like, I was too out of control from the very beginning. And so... I didn't meet any chicks. I would just, like, smoke in the corner by myself and just, like, do that all the time. Like, oh, my God. And so I just didn't... The smoking didn't click because, like, I didn't get anything out of it, you know? Because, like, I feel that every substance, it needs to give me something. That's why cocaine, like, worked really well with me. And alcohol, because it gave me something. It gave me, like, invincibility. Because, like...
like a superpower.
Yeah, because, like... Because I've tried weed, but it just makes me, like, really violent and angry. And I don't get anywhere.
Really?
Sorry, I'm gross.
That's rare. You're not gross. I'm, like, eating this hot dog and...
It's not too rare, because, like, I've learned recently that, so I have ADHD tendencies, I guess, but I'm not, like, diagnosed or anything. And I don't think I have ADHD, but it could be me in denial. But I have tendencies, and they say that people with ADHD, they're more inclined to, like, that's why they take Ritalin and stuff, because it's, what's that word? What's cocaine? It's
It's not a suppressant. It's a... excitement.
Yeah, but there's a word for it. It's like...
enhancement.
Yeah.
It's an enhancer.
It's an enhancer, and so, like...
Good times enhancement.
And so people with ADHD, they tend to be calm on cocaine because, like, it makes your brain, like, focus, you know? Yeah. So you feel, like, more just yourself and more, like, you feel better about yourself and you feel good. But the problem with cocaine, it makes you crazy, obviously, right? Yeah. You get, like, erratic and you get, like, paranoid, and if you do enough of it, you get kind of, like, you feel, like, strong, you know? But, like, weed, it's the opposite. It makes you calm and makes your brain, like, think. And that's the problem, is, like, when I do drugs, I want to suppress a feeling I have. Right? I want to suppress anger. I want to suppress emotion. I want to feel numb. But weed puts me in a place where I'm thinking about everything. I'm thinking about, like, my mom. I'm thinking about my grandpa. I'm thinking about my uncle.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, like, all these,
like... Makes you self-conscious.
Yeah, and so, like, I sit there, and then I get angry, because, like, I'm like, why am I not, like, feeling better about myself. Like, why do these people do these things? And so I just want to get fucked up. And then the worst part is like people come to me, they're like, hey, are you okay? And then my brain's like, I'm fucking fine. Because I think that they see it. I think they see the mask I'm like trying to like hide my face with. I think they're like seeing the person I like want to hide when I'm on cocaine. Because when I'm on cocaine, I don't care what people see about me and how people perceive me. And I don't, the more so, when I'm on weed, I think that people see my trauma, and I don't want people to see my trauma. That's why I do cocaine, right? That's why I did cocaine for a long time. Now, I'm like better with it. I'm okay with people knowing I got molested. I'm okay with people knowing I've been like perverted when I was younger, things like that. But like people in my life, like I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with people knowing like I was homeless and da-da-da. Like I'm okay with that now. But like for a long time, I was embarrassed about it. And so I think like weed, it doesn't give me that shield I need, and so I get violent and angry because I have anger problems. But like cocaine does. It gives me this invincibility of like of happiness, you know? Even though I don't look happy, I feel amazing, you know? Like obviously now I don't. But
have you been able to recreate that feeling without the substance?
Yeah, filming, comedy, pretty much performing, like creative works that like what fills me with joy.
Yeah.
You know, taking pictures, it's like, it's nice, you know?
Your pictures are amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. I have to make sure this is always going.
Arturo has been in town for, I think this is your 3rd week in town?
It feels like it.
3rd week in town. Whereabouts in the city are you staying?
South side? I kind of stay everywhere because I'm in Airbnbs.
Oh, okay, right on. So, so happy to be having you in town, Arturo. He's come to almost every single one of my shows. I run, just up until recently, I was running 4 shows per week. So I have Sunday at the King's Head, which is called Confession Booth Comedy. I have Tuesday at Revival Brewcade, which is called Laughs on Tap. I have Fishbowl, which is at the Unicorn every Wednesday. And then I was running a weekly speakeasy comedy show, which if you've seen my podcast and if you've seen my speakeasy comedy show, I used to run out of my living room. That was me taking it to a live stage. I tried to do it weekly for 6 months, okay? Speakeasy is the type of show, it's a monthly show. It was always a monthly show when I first started it. I'm taking it back down to a monthly so that I can Instagram live it and so that people will actually show up to it. I have time to promote it. It was crazy.
I think streaming it would be really good for it too.
Yeah, like just streaming it on, yeah.
Speakeasy to me, because it's such like a variety, fun show, that I think it would do really well if I'm not telling you what to do either, but like.
Tell me what to do.
I think it would be really cool to stream like how it was made, like up to the show, you know, like from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. You know, you get the people, you're promoting it, you're like twitching it, you're like da da da. This is what we're doing, da da da. And then like the stream, and then people can like be really involved into the stream, and then the stream kind of ends, and then you have the show.
That's a really good idea because when I'm out. Like when I'm booking people, I'm just going to other shows and I'm booking people. When I'm promoting it, I'm in a dinosaur costume, like on the streets of Calgary handing out flyers. I flyer door to door, which some people really hate, but it really works.
Yeah.
So that's a really good idea, just to like stream the process and then actually stream the live show. Yeah. That's a great idea because I have to start promoting it like this week. The next show for Speakeasy is July 27th. And I have a really cool lineup so far. I got some musical performances. I have a dancer. Still looking for a headliner, so hit me up, Calgary. And anyways, the reason why I was talking about my shows is because Arturo has been at every single one of them taking these amazing photos, and I've just been so grateful. It's helped me out a lot because when somebody already just posts promotion for me, it means I don't have to create that content.
Yeah,
thank you, Arturo.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Thank you.
People don't know like and I think that's why streaming it would be really fun because then people get a sense of like behind the scenes, and people love behind the scenes.
And I don't have to edit anything.
Yeah, and like and what I loved about like old school movies is like not old school like black and white, but just like older movies is like the director's commentary.
Yeah.
You know, I love director's commentary. They don't do it anymore, but like I love director's commentary so much. They do it in like some artsy movies, but I wish they did it in like all the movies. You know, like there's this movie.
I 100% agree.
There's this movie called The Life of Walter Mitty. Have you seen that? and they didn't do the director's commentary, and I'm like, man, like, what was your process, you know? And maybe that was because like it was about being in the moment, so you don't need the process. Maybe that's why. But I always loved.
I love that movie.
I love that movie so much.
That movie
I loved it so much. But I get so like my heart just sinks, you know. Just I enjoy it, right? Because like when I watched Whiplash and I watched director's commentary, like that was amazing. The Superbad commentary is fucking amazing because have you seen the director's commentary?
Of Superbad? No,
Yeah.
but I have. I went through a Brad Pitt phase, and I've watched the director's commentary of every single one of his movies.
Are they good?
Really good. I mean, Fight Club.
I've never seen the director's commentary, but I should.
It's a good one to watch
But
for
in
sure.
Superbad, the director's commentary is amazing because Jonah Hill and Judd Apatow get into a screaming match, and Judd Apatow has to leave with his daughter, and it's hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome! And they just left it in.
They left it in because Jonah Hill keeps swearing in front of his daughter, and he's like, "Don't bring and Jonah Hill's like, "Why would you bring your daughter to work? Like this is work." Like the movie's raunchy, they swear in the movie. They want to see the character. They want to see Seth swear. I'm going to swear. Like I don't know why the fuck you'd bring your daughter to the work. And then he's like, Maud's fine with it. Like Maud wants to be here. She wants to be part of this. Da, da, da. She's like, yeah. Then be part of the swearing. Like the movie swears. Like what do you mean? Like yeah, right. And then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go. And like Judd Apatow like leaves, and it's just so funny.
So was it a bit or was it real?
I don't know if it was a bit, but it's just so funny to watch that. And there's other movies too. Like there's what's that movie called? Funny People. Again with Judd Apatow, Adam Sandler, and Judd Apatow, Adam Sandler, and Seth Rogen, and Adam Sandler's getting like really deep and heavy, and he's talking about like people that have burnt him. And he's like, I won't say names, but this guy did this. Like it was really shitty. You know, it was really bad. Like it was kind of like this movie. And then Seth Rogen's like, why would David Spade do that? You know, as a joke. And then for a solid minute, Judd Apatow and Adam Sandler don't say anything.
Oh, no.
And it's so quiet for a minute. It's so beautiful, though. But at the same time, I'm sure they did that on purpose because, like, what's worse to a comic after a joke? Silence.
Yeah.
So they were just silent to, like, not give Seth Rogen anything. And it was just so beautiful.
Or do you think that they were embarrassed that Seth Rogen outed David Spade and that he might see it?
I don't think David Spade was the actual person. I think Seth Rogen was making a joke that David Spade is in every Adam Sandler movie.
I see.
So it would have to be David Spade.
I see.
Like, who else would it be? So, like, I think that was the joke.
Okay.
But also, I think, like, it's just funny that, like, Adam Sandler and Judd Apatow knew how to like deal with a shitty joke, like silence to a comic, because like that's amazing.
Interesting, yeah. It's like when you're watching the director's commentary, you also really get to know. That was my biggest reason why I watched the director's commentaries, because I wanted to get to know Brad Pitt. Like I thought I was in love with him for the longest time. Like on his birthday, I would literally open the front door of my house and be like, "Happy birthday, Brad Pitt, December 17th."
Like by yourself, like with no one there?
Like by myself, no one else is there.
You would love Brad Pitt.
I love Brad Pitt.
Sorry, I have to ask you, there's nothing in that coffee, right? You were joking?
It's just coffee, milk, and maple syrup.
Okay.
Yeah, are you feeling okay?
No, I'm fine. You just made the joke, but I was like, did she put something in there? Like, because,
yeah, I dosed you.
Yeah,
that's
funny.
That's what I want to do today.
Sorry about that, but like my sobriety is like you have to ask.
Yeah, take it seriously for sure. Yeah.
Well, I was talking to Brian about this yesterday because like he said something. He's like, so you don't do anything? You can't do anything? I'm like, no, I'll die. He's like, oh no, I wasn't asking you to do anything. I'm like, no, I have to like make sure I tell myself that. You know, it's like a quick reminder.
You got all of your tags here too. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's like a little reminder of like for myself, because like sometimes I put the tags on like the table, and then a server will come by like, do you want to drink? And like the tags are there as a reminder of like, no, I can't drink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then also like when I'm on the road or alone or anything, like our meetings, I'd like grab the tags, like things like that. I just have them on me.
And people will engage you in conversation because of those tags, and it's a great conversation starter. I think that it's like a huge like respect. I think it's a huge respect.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I died. Don't talk to me. Do you know what I mean?
So the whole reason I'm telling you this Brad Pitt thing is because I used to think that because I looked up to him so much that I was in love with him. I actually was just really in love with him as an actor. I really liked like how he carried himself, the types of movies that he did, how private he was in his life, even his like fiasco of like Jennifer Aniston with the who's the lips girl? Angelina Jolie, like all of that stuff. I was just like, I loved his whole process, his whole life. And I started to actually really look up to him as a professional actor. So I kind of like idolize him. I want to like, I like his life. I like the choices that he's made.
I get that.
Did you know that Thelma and Louise was his very first movie, something like that? And he just walked onto set and was charming. And they were like, yes, you.
Yeah, I did know about that.
He just left his town and like wherever he was from, Atlanta or I forget where, Minnesota, I don't know where he's from. And he went to Hollywood to just become famous, and it worked. And my life, the way that I've lived my life, I've come to realize that meritocracy, like having merit and working hard for what you have is really important. Credentialism, maybe not as much. Like, I don't think, like Brad Pitt had zero credentials, but he was just able to become Hollywood famous.
I think so too, because I think a lot of times, like, it's like who you know and how you talk to them. Can we do one thing? Can you move your hair from the mic?
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
There we go. Hello.
Hello.
There's always weird moments in the podcast, but you have to do those things where you have to like fix people, you know?
Yeah, it's okay. We can just edit this out.
Or
just keep it in. Just fucking keep it in. So yeah, with your sobriety, there are a lot of sober comics in the scene that I really respect. And during the pandemic, actually a way that I kind of got out of my funk, because I was doing this bodybuilding competition, all the gyms closed down. I wasn't vaxxed, so I wasn't allowed. Even the building in my gym was closed. I'm like, can we even just use the kettlebells? Like, can we just take them out? No, it's a liability. I'm like, why do I pay rent here? Okay. So, you know, I just kind of was in a funk, but what got me out was actually meeting these other sober comics who just wanted to live a healthy lifestyle. And I have people to thank. You know, I don't want to name names. Sometimes this is like an anonymous thing, but there are at least 3 people that I could think of that I could name them. Just like, hey, you brought me out of my funk. You helped me and supported me when I was doing speakeasy out of my living room, when I was having people over during the pandemic, and everyone was just like, boo, you're going to get sick. You're going to kill your grandma. We're going to tell on you. You're going to get $1,000 fine. These people were like, don't listen to them. They're haters. Do you, girl. And I have sober comics really to thank.
Yeah, you can also like do it safely in your room. It was like more about like not being in public places, like in a big group of things, right?
Yeah.
But it's like you can do it safely in your room, right? Just like, or in your apartment, because like it's a closed, you know, it's a closed setting.
And there, you know, more and more proof is coming out that the lockdowns were, you know, caused more harm than they did good, just because of the how easily the virus is to spread. It's just like it had to spread through everyone because it was so easy to catch. So, and a lot of people died, but it's not even clear that those people died due to COVID, because apparently doctors were just, you know, switching the cause of death. Like, oh, you had diabetes and, you know, chronic heart failure and all this, but you also got COVID. So we'll just write it down as you died from COVID. So, like, all the numbers are fucked up, too. Like,
I think
there was huge incentives for doctors to do that.
Well, I think, like, the pandemic overall was real, but, like, I think it was such a big thing that it was one of those things that, like, nothing worked, but at the same time, everything worked, you know?
How so?
Like, because, like, the pandemic just, like you said, the pandemic just had to happen because a pandemic you're not going to really stop.
You can't stop it.
You know? But at the same time, you can put, like, things in places to, like, slow it down. But at the same time, those things all won't help. But at the same time, they will help. Like, washing your hands might or might not help. But you should probably do it. But like, if you don't do it, like you get into a lot of like the gray area of like what would work and like what doesn't work. But like at the same time, it's like working out. Like everything will work, but nothing will work. You know?
The first lockdown, to lock everyone down for like the first month, made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But the continued lockdowns for like a year and a half,
going back and forth was weird.
It caused so much like negativity, you know, depression, anxiety. People just like, it split families apart, really. I can like attest to that. Just for, you know, not being invited home for Christmas is like, it sucks, you know? It sucks. And then you realize that you can't even fly either because you don't have this vaccination. That I don't think the vaccine is dangerous, but I just think that it should have been only necessary for people who were at risk. Like COVID to me I don't even know if I got it. I got a bad flu at some point and I tested, but it still said negative. So, I think that it was necessary for some people to take, but not necessary for everyone to take, or to even force kids to take it. All of this stuff I feel was just very orchestrated poorly. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the first lockdown they shouldn't have like lifted it. If you're going to do it, just do it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I don't think you should have like lifted it, then like unlifted it, lifted it, unlifted it, just like, it should have been more contained.
Yeah. And then the first strain was the Delta was really dangerous. It spread so quickly, but then the mutations became less and less dangerous. But they were played off as like, this Omicron is so dangerous. It's like, but it's not. Like, everybody had gotten it by then, and you were gaining this sort of herd immunity, and people stopped getting stigmatized. It really there was a huge stigma. It was like when the AIDS pandemic came out, everyone was like, don't breathe on me, you have AIDS. It's like, that's not how it fucking spreads. There's just so much false information that's being spread, and it just like sort of induced this disgust factor in people, which is really a dangerous thing to induce in people because we know what the past looks like. I hopefully hope you know what the past was like, because there's so many people who have such a short memory when it comes to exclusionary behavior due to viruses. So.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I don't know enough about the pandemic only because, like, this is going to sound crazy, but so when the pandemic happened, I died. So when I came out of the...
Oh, so you actually died and were resuscitated.
Wait, not from the pandemic, though. Like, I died from an overdose, sorry.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I died from an overdose, and then I came back, and I didn't think the pandemic was real for, like, a good 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Because, like, when I came back, it was derealization, so my brain couldn't handle dying, so I would cope with, like, making, like thinking I was in the Matrix.
How long were you dead for?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And what
Shorter
happened?
than Jesus.
Yeah. Thank you, God, for bringing Arturo back.
No, I mean, Jesus, it took him 3 days.
Oh, yeah. But
It
I
took
mean,
me 2 minutes.
he's God, so yeah.
But technically speaking...
Oh, so you're better than Jesus. Yeah, Jesus loves it when people say that. No, so what happened in the moments leading up to that?
So a lot of it was I wasn't taking... Sorry, I have to think about this. A lot of what my relapse was I wasn't... I think I was lonely, and also I wasn't taking my sobriety seriously. So, like, what happened was I would have, like... And this is why I know I can't do anything. Because I would have, like, one... I gotta put you right here, buddy. There you go. Okay, you're staying right there. Hi. Okay, we're good. A lot of it was, like... I would have, like... First, I started, like, meeting girls on Tinder. Right? I'd go to their places, and I'd, like, buy them booze, you know? And then that was one. I can buy booze now, but, like, only because, like, I'm, like, in a better place. But I started buying them booze. And then, since I was alone and, like, kind of doing it in secret, like, I was just, like, very alone and not having a great support system, I would start drinking the beers. I would, like, have one beer. And then I would tell myself, oh, yeah, right, because, like, I can have one beer. I'm not an alcoholic. Oops, excuse me. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a drug addict. Like, it's fine, right? I have more water. Sorry. I thought you were looking at my water.
No, it's okay.
I'm an alcoholic. I mean, I'm a drug addict. I'm not an alcoholic, so I can have booze. It's fine.
This is how it starts.
Yeah, and then the next week I would have another one. I would have two. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm not getting drunk. Like, this is fine. I can have like I can have a drink or two. Like, it's fine. I'm not an alcoholic. And then the next day after like the 2 beers, I bought an 8-ball of cocaine.
Oh my God.
Like in the morning, I did it like 9 a.m. And then the cocaine was laced with ketamine and ketamine and like other shit. And so this is how people relapse all the time. You get sober for a while. I was sober for like 8 months. And you lose all your contacts.
Yeah. All
the safe contacts that you would have, right? That you know that like you can handle their stuff and their stuff isn't cut with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I went on Facebook and I was looking through all my contacts of like people I don't really talk to, and they gave me a number, and then that person gave me a number, and then I went to that person, and I didn't know that person. I didn't like use that person very much. So I bought the same amount that I usually bought from a safe drug dealer, and then I would I consumed all of that drugs without knowing it was cut with stuff. So then at the end of my night, I died, and so I overdosed. And then when I came back from being alive, I had this like derealization where in my brain, because I couldn't cope with dying, I made up this like lie in my head that the pandemic was in my head, and I'm in the hospital right now dying of a coma probably, and like this pandemic is just like my last few moments of life. And so that's why like I can't see anyone, that's why I'm not around people, that's why I can't work, because my brain has like manufactured this like amazing lie, this Truman Show lie of why I can't leave. You know, like it's all in my head. And I thought that for like 6 months, I think. Yeah, until like it kind of went away, right? And I used to say that like, yeah, like I used to tell my friends they're not real. I used to like tell people they're not real, like things like that. Actually, it's kind of funny. I talked about this in the podcast before, but it's just a funny thing to say. This comic came up to me once was I was at a show, and this was before the lockdowns. So like this comic came up to me and he's like talking a little bit about the pandemic, and I was like, the pandemic isn't real. You're a figment of my imagination. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, you're all a figment of my imagination. Right now, I'm dying, and you're all just a figment of my imagination. Like the pandemic isn't real. And he's like, that's a weird bit, Arturo, and he walked away. And so it's kind of funny because like I was losing my mind, but he thought it was like an actual bit because comics say stupid shit all the time.
Yeah, but maybe your brain was affected by being dead for 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, definitely. My brain, because that happens a lot. Like my friend told, because she works in like mental health, she told me that like that happens a lot with people when they come back from the dead. Is like they think they're still dead. They can't get over that. It's like a phantom when people lose limbs and they can still feel it. They can still feel the limb. It's like phantom limb or something like that. But like it's like that. My brain could still, I think, feel death. You know, it was still coming out of it. Because like dying's creepy. You know, it's a very weird experience when you come back from it. But like that was the thing I needed. I needed to die because like after that, I had this like, I did my steps again, and then I also did. I had this like moment of clarity of like, okay, yeah, I can't do drugs. Like I can't do anything. Like I can't drink. I can't. Obviously can't do drugs. I can't do anything. So I have to just stay sober. Like this is it for me. You know. Like that was it. Like my higher power talked to me, and he was like, "Yeah, you had everything, right? You had the money because you got served. You weren't working, so you can't blame that. And then you had the place to your own, and you died. Like this is it. This is how it happened. So now you got to move on."
And probably so many people did die and stayed dead that same way. And that's what I meant about. First of all, that's an incredible story, and I'm so glad that you are here with us today.
Thanks.
Because there are some people, who. The lockdown was, I have this money, I can't leave my house, but I can call my drug dealer. You know, I have to stay home. I can't go to my church. I can't go to my meetings. So, but I can stay home and pick up my 8-ball. Like, so it's really...
And it happens like so fast.
Yeah.
Like when you want to do drugs, it's a moment of like, it's like a snap of the switch. It was so weird though.
And
because
a pull.
Yeah.
A pull of just like, you know, like,
And so I've talked about this on stage, but it's very true. It's like, I just have to differentiate the voices inside my head, right? Because like a lot of times there's like 3 of me talking, and I just have to know whose idea this is. Cause like, it's my choice, but not my idea. Right. Like, for example, like my friend called me before this just to talk, and like, we go to clubs together sometimes, right? But the thing is, it's like, I have to remind myself, I'm like, I'm going out with him and with the guys because like, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to get fucked up.
Yeah.
You know, because like sometimes my addiction, like, it's like, oh, we're going to a club. I'm like, no, I'm going to a club.
Yeah.
I'm going to dance. I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah.
You are not doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, I have to remind myself that, right? And so, it's kind of like the Boston Pizza joke. Like, that's a real thing, right? Like, where my addiction is just like, you should get a shot. I'm like, we're not relapsing on Boston Pizza.
Yeah.
Right? I have to, like, always be kind of parenting a kid now.
Yeah.
Where, like, this kid's like, we should get ice cream. I'm like, you just ate. Like, you need to eat. Like, you're not doing that. You're not doing that.
So,
except this kid loves cocaine. I'm like, you're unreasonable.
Yeah, this kid loves cocaine, not ice cream.
Yeah.
So my little kid inside is the ice cream kid. So my addiction has to do with my eating disorder.
Yeah.
So when I drink alcohol, my eating disorder obviously gets worse because alcohol is not my main thing, but it definitely
It loosens the bolts.
It loosens the bolts on my other problems. So when I was growing up, my parents split up terribly, and a way for me to cope with that was I gained like 100 pounds. And by the time I was 18, I was like 260, sometimes 275. Like I was big. Like I have stretch marks all over my body from where I was like huge, right?
Yeah.
And then finally, there was a lot of tumultuous relationship with my dad. Because I was just living with my dad. My mom had like been put in jail when I was 11 because she was like child abusing, and she also has like a personality disorder. So she was abusing us, and really got into a terrible altercation with my dad where she like stabbed him and all this. So it's crazy. Yeah, my mom's been to jail. She's badass. But I came to.
She seems so nice.
She is really nice. That she isn't that person anymore, and so to speak, she's done her time. So she's doing better now, like way, way better. I actually have a relationship with her, but I didn't speak to her for like 10 years.
Wow.
And in that time, I was just living with my dad. And to cope with this like emptiness of not having a mom, I just like ate. And my dad was not about to tell me to not do that, So he just tried to be supportive, but also he was working 3 jobs because we all knew that my mom was not a safe person. So all of the 5 kids stayed with my dad.
Yeah.
So he was supporting all of us, and like in the first few years supporting all of us, but my siblings are like at least 7 years older than me. So they went off and worked full time.
Yeah.
They went to university, and it was just me and my youngest brother. And so my dad was working 3 jobs to like support us. And I started working at like 15 doing childcare. Then I started working at a post office. And just while I was like working more and concentrating on school less, I started to become overweight because I was forced to be a grown-up before I was a grown-up, basically. Yeah. And yeah, so by the time I was like 18, 19 years old, I said, you know what? I'm getting the fuck out of my hometown because it's killing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like all of the health problems that come along with being 100 pounds overweight. It was starting to take a toll, So I moved in with my uncle, which is my dad's brother, in London, Ontario, and I lost 100 pounds in 9 months.
Wow.
And just basically like, I moved in with my aunt and uncle. They have, alcoholism in their family. So really just like moving from one unstable family to like the next was really just... if I'm just never here, if I just bike to work and stay downtown and don't come home and like work out a lot and just like try to improve myself, then I don't have to be around this either. And so that's really, I developed an eating disorder basically, which you always have an eating disorder if you're overweight. You binge, right? I was just binging, not purging. So then I became like anorexic. I would just skip meals and reward myself, like this sort of thing. And I started, like, once I got under 200 pounds, that's where my family members and stuff, when I'd go home, they'd just be like, you're wasting away. Like, where are you? Like, are you even the same person? You're losing weight too fast, like this sort of thing. I got down to like 150 pounds, just very skinny, like no muscle. And then I started working at Good Life and I became a personal trainer. And I started putting muscle on that way, but then then you yo-yo, right? You relapse, so I moved from London to Toronto so I could be closer to my family. And, I started developing a relationship with my mom again, which helped. And, with boundaries, and then I started doing stand-up comedy, and it was actually really, therapeutic for me to like talk about my family and to like get the truth out because my mom like flipped out on my dad, stabbed him, attacked him all the time. And because my mom is like 5'2" and my dad's 6'5", he like never told anyone because he's like, well, I'll get fucking murdered for this. Yeah. So I started to realize that like, but also my dad was like he was an infidel. Like he was hugely cheating on my mom, like just, working all the time, but like working, know, and just really, it just came to light like how much my dad was really like orchestrating my relationship with my mom just to not have to pay her alimony anymore.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah, and because once they went to court and actually divorced and my dad didn't have to pay her money anymore, my dad just like poof disappeared.
Yeah.
He like got a new wife, got a new family, and I'm like, you always promised that things would get better and they just never did.
Yeah.
You just like used me until you didn't need me anymore and now you're gone. I've come to realize over time as well though, like it's not my dad's fault. Like I'm part of that too, you know? So
how did you kind of build the bridge with your mom? Because I too had an absent mom. She was never there. Can I tell you?
please.
Okay. Not to interrupt you, but
no, I'd like to hear it.
So my mom, my dad had a stroke, and he went back with his first family. That broke my mom's heart, and then my mom tried to commit suicide.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then she was in a coma for like 3 months, but she didn't tell anyone where me and my sister were. So before she tried, right? So then me and my sister were lost in Kamloops for like 2 weeks, and my grandpa had to come and find me and my sister.
Where were you?
We were at some like, I don't want to say crack den, but like he found us in like this house, and the people there didn't know we were there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so my sister, I guess, like took care of me and stuff like that. And here's the weird thing.
Is your sister sober?
I think she smokes weed, but she's fine.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of weird though, because like she's tried cocaine, and she says that it wasn't her thing. She didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just funny how like we both had the same trauma kind of lives, but like we both like different things. Like she smokes weed, and like that's the opposite of what I like.
Yeah.
You know, we're different people. But the thing is, it's like growing up, I had issues with women. You know, like I wouldn't say I would say I was sexist, but like not openly. You know what I mean? Like I would. Because, okay, so living with my grandpa, it wasn't the greatest either, you know? Like, he was very kind of abusive, you know, mentally and physically. Like, he'd always, like, hit us if we were bad, but, like, not to a point of, like, discipline, to a point of, like, rage, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, he would deal with a lot of his problems with, like, anger and violence.
Mm-hmm.
But then the thing is, it's, like, because he was my role model, he would, like, hit my sister, and, like, I've seen him hit my mom, and, like, he would talk about, like, how he used to, like, have to hit his he would hit his wives, things like that. Like he would tell me stories about like he would come home drunk late at night, and if his wife didn't come down fast enough to the door, he would beat her.
Mm-hmm.
And he would talk about this stuff, right? But the problem is he would like talk about it at church, but he would talk about it in a way like, oh, look at me, I'm like, woe is me, I did this thing, you know? Like, kind of get attention, you know? Kind of be a martyr.
Like I had to do this. Times were so hard.
More so like, look at me, I'm better now. I've changed so much. I used to be this guy, now I'm not this guy.
Yeah.
I'm so experienced, like things like that, you know? But as a kid, I didn't understand what he was doing, and I took that as like, oh, that's how you treat women. That's how you see women. That's how you see relationships with women. And I never got physical, but I definitely got like mentally abusive with women, where I would like cheat on them. I would lie to them. I would like think of myself, you know, and like I had a relationship with a girl for 2 years, and I definitely was mentally abusive with her because like I would be using at the time. So it'd be worse.
Mm-hmm.
And she would just want me to stop doing drugs. And then that's when like my brain would just like light up like my grandpa's. And, like, I would just, like, get angry and mad. And I'm like, don't talk to me like that. Like, you can't take away my thing, my precious little thing. You can't do that, da-da-da, right? Because, like, she's trying to take away the thing I have, my drugs at the time. And I don't want to just blame my mom, because, like, it is my grandpa, too, right? Because, like, he taught me how to treat women. And my mom taught me that, like, women are, they're not there for you. Like, the one person that's supposed to love you, which is your mother, wasn't there for you, you know? She wasn't there for me, and it sucked. And then I had the other side of my grandpa, where, like, my grandpa taught me how you're supposed to treat women when they're, like, when like, they've wronged you.
When they're out of line, yeah.
Yeah, right? And so it got to the point where I had to put myself through therapy, and it was really weird because like there was a therapist in there, she's a woman, and the woman was like, "What's your problem? Like what's wrong? What's going on?" And I like straight up told her, I was like, "I think I hate women." And like I told her about my mom, and like she told me, she's like, "You don't hate women, but you were never mad at your mom. You never got that chance. So now you're angry at women.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You never got mad at your mom. So now you're mad at these other women."
I just have to interject for 1 second because I totally relate to this. When I was like deeply immersed in my eating disorder, I was in my 20s. I was meeting these types of guys who were never there for me, who would always like cheat on me, lie to me. You know, I was always second on the list. I was never number one, you know, and it's because I hadn't met the type of guy, I hadn't been taught that there's the type of people out there who don't treat you this way.
Yeah, yeah.
I hadn't met those people yet because I was raised by people who were cheating and lying all the time. And I thought that that was normal. And so when I was out in the world, those were the only types of people I was attracting.
So you feel comfortable.
Because my behavior attracted those people.
Yeah.
I attracted like creeps.
Yeah.
And people who want to take advantage, right?
Yeah.
Then I started to go to therapy because I wasn't happy. So I started to seek therapy, go to meetings and things like this, where I started to realize that there are good people out there that exist. And if I change my belief system, I'll attract those good people.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that. Well, not funny, but it's interesting that you say that because I didn't treat women very well, right? And I really do think that like and I love my mom now, and I understand my mom, right? Because like, imagine my grandpa abused me. Imagine what he did to her, and I've heard the things he's done to her. You know, I've heard stories of like he's beat my mom so bad that like her brother had to come in the way and like stop, like hit me, don't hit her, leave her alone.
Yeah.
And the problem is like my mom's disabled. Like I'm 1/4 retarded, right? Just kidding, but my mom's disabled,
Man.
and so like she has a learning disability. She couldn't finish high school, and so my grandpa got frustrated with me over like math, and I'm capable, right, mentally. So like imagine how mad he got when he was drinking and smoking. At
no
his
patience.
prime. At his prime, right? Imagine how he treated her, and so like how I see it is like. When my mom loved my dad, and my dad loved my mom, she finally found a man that loved her, that didn't treat her poorly, and then he died. And then she had the only choice she had was to my grandpa again. And then we were with her, so she's like, "Oh my God, she's going to get like he's going to raise my kids like he raised me," you know? And like, that was probably traumatizing. That was probably really hard for her.
Yeah.
And then she has like a disability. So like, I don't know. She just wanted to rest. And I get that. I too cope with drugs. And like, so I wanted to rest too, you know? And so like, what I was going to is like, it's interesting that like the universe put more women in my life than men, you know, after I tried seeking help. Like my therapist was a woman. You know, my social worker was a woman when I was homeless. And then I have like 4 best friends that are just women, you know? Like Amanda, every day after I died, she'd check in on me. She'd be like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Now we talk every day. Anna, she's one of my best friends. And like, she's part of my support system. She talks to me. There's Ashley. There's like Ashley, Anna, Amanda, Sasha. All these women just like started plopping into my lives. And I think that's like universe, higher power, God, whatever you want to call it, saying like, hey, women aren't always like this.
Yeah, you're attracting some really good ones.
And that's what you were saying, like you attract the people. Like after I started like treating women with like respect.
Treating yourself with respect.
Yeah, treating myself with respect. I started attracting like actual people that like were supposed to be in my life, which were women. Like there's you too. Like we're friends. You're really great. And like now I can like talk to you in a way that like isn't coming from a sense of like my past, right? Because like I'm sober now and I'm better, but the thing is like because of my past and because of my past language and actions with women, I do always have to ask myself and like hold myself accountable and responsible of how I'm treating women that I have in my life now. You know, like when we first met, honestly, and like we were talking, I had a moment of like not insecurity or like nervousness, but like just being like, remember, you have to treat this person with respect. You know, respect. Integrity.
Integrity.
Yeah. and to like talk to her like she's a person, treat her like everyone else. Because like every time I meet a woman, I have to like take a step back and like say that, because I think because like in my past how I've treated women, I'm not allowed to not do that. I don't get to just be like, oh, I treat everyone with respect. It's how I've always been, and be like cocky about it. I haven't been. And so now I have to like take a step back and be like, how am I treating this person? Am I treating this person well?
It's so interesting that you say that. I can relate definitely on a deep level. Even just meeting comics all the time, I can sense when one of them is lying to me. Yeah. I can sense it. I can sense, when they're being disingenuous. Or when they're being fake, and I can tell. And my past self would be like, what's wrong with this person? I need to help them. I need to fix them. I need to coddle them and give everything of myself to them until I become worse and at their level. And really, they just consume my the support I'm giving them. They don't use it. They just consume it. And I made a mistake very recently. I was working with a particular comic quite recently who was quite a vampire of my time, my energy, my money, my skills, just my abilities in general. And I'd had like an intervention with them already, with like other comics being like, hey, you need to get this, this, and this in order. Otherwise, I'm putting up this boundary where I can't work with you anymore. And it worked for a time, but then that person was like relapsing on those boundaries I'd made, right? And I just finally made a decision where they had just like, they'd actually really, like they'd verbally abused me, over the phone and in an email. I'm just like, are you not smart enough to just like not even, don't slander someone in an email, because then there's like evidence.
There's paper trail.
So
I always say my slurs out loud.
So either on the phone or in person is when you should really be insulting someone. But they just like commandeered one of my shows completely. They were stealing money from me basically. Just so, but the excuse was like, I'm actually stupid. I'm not a thief. I'm like, okay,
oh my God.
But your stupidity, even if it is just ignorance on your part, is costing me money. So they'd done all of these things, and for like a week, I just pretended. I like knew. I was like, I'm going to fire this person. I am. But I'm just going to ride out this week and see what happens. And they had their guard up, like maybe she's going to get rid of me. But then a week went by and I did nothing, and they let their guard down. And then that's where I was like, you're actually finished.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like these narcissistic people, they know what they're doing.
Well, that's the thing. Like I don't know because I have so many people in my lives that like love me. But it's like a lot of people that I've harmed love me, and they're like, no, we're so glad you're doing better, But it's like,
welcome back.
Hi. Like you were talking about like how like you have to you have to take a second guess at like watching out for narcissists and watching for liars, because like you have this is what I'm alluding to. What you're telling me is that like you had a past to letting these people in, so you have to like take a step, be like, is this person being dishonest? But then like normal people, I'm just saying normal people, but like people that didn't have that kind of trauma, they don't have to do that. Do you know what I mean? They might even be able to have just a regular surface, unsophisticated relationship with that person where they never fall prey to their BS. Yeah, because like they know, they're like, oh, this person's weird, I'm gonna be nice, but not nice enough. But not let them in. Yeah, but the problem is like because your trauma with your like father and like your mother, like you're like, oh, I'm gonna let this person in, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna try and fix this person. Yeah, exactly. So I work on a 3-strike policy now. If someone in general is, if I can sort of sniff out that they are either being manipulative or like even Machiavellian in a way, like, or if they're like gossiping to me, I'm like, oh, you gossip about everyone. So I'm going to watch what I say to you. And if this person just continues to have this behavior, I just disengage them. I don't offer them opportunities. When they ask me if they can be on a show, I'll just be like, you can show up for the lotto. Yeah, exactly. Because that's on you. And then I'm not putting myself out. I'm not guaranteeing you a spot. You can just show up and you can do the work. I'm not going to do the work to put you down actually on the list with the possibility you're going to be unreliable and bail on me last minute. Exactly. I also just want to say, with that one person I had to let go,
I didn't like wait a week to like make sure they were vulnerable and then fire them. I waited a week because there were 2 shows that they had sort of commandeered.
Yeah.
And I didn't want them to cause more harm by me pushing back on them.
Yeah, of course.
I really just let them railroad me and just take over my show, completely do it a different way that I did not plan or was never talked to about. It was actually 2 people who did this to me. They were like working in cahoots. And then after those shows, I just let it go. You know,
Yeah.
when somebody has taken over something,
Yeah.
and if you try and push back, there's far too many other people involved now that me pushing back, they have like poisoned the mind of so many people saying that I'm so controlling, a control freak, such a bitch, and blah, 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 and like just want all the money for myself or whatever. They've poisoned the other people's minds so that if I push back, everyone else is going to be like, Tara,
Yeah.
you know? So I just let it happen. And then after the shows were done and failed, they failed miserably. We made no money.
Yeah.
And has it started to rain?
A little.
Okay, we can take this inside. Basically, the point is, the shows failed miserably, and then the week after is when I was just like, well, I had to just release. I got myself into this. You know, I was foiled again.
Yeah.
But now you're done.
Yeah, it's kind of also like you gave them a week to like get their shit together, you know? You gave them like a chance.
I did. I just said, you know, I left it up to God. I've gotten very connected with God in the last like few years. And I've just been like, God, I know that you have a plan for me. I got myself into this. I know you'll get me out of it.
Yeah.
I just released I released this to you and everything was fine. But yeah, the shows failed.
Yeah.
So, so anyways, I just wanted to be clear about that and just also say now that I don't let those people in anymore, but I do give a 3-strike policy. And I have a few people on that list now who are on their 2nd strike. And I've told them straight out, like, I don't like your behavior. I know what you're doing. I know that you're lying to my face right now.
Yeah.
And if it happens again, you're done. 2 people right now on my shit list. I had to have a crucial confrontation with somebody yesterday just because they're such a vampire of time that I looked at them and I said, I am so busy right now.
Yeah.
You say you respect how busy I am? Get out of my face then. Leave.
And those kind of actions is like...
But I'm a bitch for doing that.
Agreed.
No, honey. No,
Just
honey.
kidding, no.
No, but I'm not a bitch. I'm a really nice person to me.
You are a nice person. I would say that. Like, you're one of the best people I've met, like, so far in Calgary.
Thank you. You too. You're lovely.
Thank you. But that being said, it's kind of crazy how, like, parallel we are, you know, to each other. Like, you have to, like, kind of, like, make sure you're not, like, letting those people in because, like, you're used to letting those people in. But at the same time, on the other spectrum, I have to make sure I'm not doing that because I have a past of doing that.
I see.
You know what I mean?
I do, yeah. You and I are like the perfect storm.
Yeah, we are. We're like the thunder and lightning. Because like
we definitely shouldn't have an affair, Arturo.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. What's going to happen next? My bedroom is just right over there.
On the podcast?
Oh my God. Yeah, let's bring these cameras inside.
But because like when I first started talking to you, like over text or whatever, I had to make sure I was like, are you talking to her with respect? Are your words like, are you asking her for shows? Like, are you asking like with her being able to say no or yes?
Good.
You know what I mean?
That
like,
is so important.
Yeah, because like in the past with women, I was very like, this is what we're doing, this is what I'm doing, you're doing this because I want to do it. Like, if you don't like it, you can leave, you know, because like I'm an independent man, blah, 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 blah. It was very like narcissistic and like manipulative, you know what I mean? And I would just very use people. I would use women a lot. And so I have to make sure when I'm talking to women, I'm like, are you using this person? Is she giving you something, but at the same time, are you giving her something? Like, what are you going to do for this person?
Are you giving this person free choice or are you manipulating them? This is such an important thing that you're bringing up because I get requests to be on shows all the time. And when someone asks me in a frilly-lily way, do you think it would be possible? Do you think at all particularly that it would be okay with you if you think that it's okay if I can be on your show? I don't answer those fucking messages.
Yeah.
There are so many messages I don't answer because I'm like, man up and ask me what you want. Even if it's a chick. I'm just like, don't frilly-lily pussy around with me. Ask me.
Yeah.
Just ask me and give me the opportunity to say yes to you or to no to you.
Yeah.
And I've been that assertive with people to their face. They fucking hate it, but
Yeah.
I love it. I'm like, oh, I feel amazing that I was just so honest with your BS to not BS. I'm the queen of BS. You can't BS a BSer, okay? Like, anyways. Sorry, I'm like yelling.
No, it's fine. These I put these mics to -18, so they are good.
Minus
to go.
18.
-18, great gain. And the other spectrum too, it's like because I've been like possessive and I've used women obviously like for like sex, but also for like just physically, right, and mentally I've used them. I have to also like when I'm talking to a woman, if I'm like joking around, I have to take a second and be like, are these jokes? Like, where do you want these jokes to go? Like, these are jokes, right? Like, are you flirting right now? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, are you using this person? Are you engaging this person? Like physically? Like, what are you doing right now? Right? Because like if you're just talking to the person for a show, to be friends, and I do this with all my friends, like with Amanda, Ashley, Anna, like all these people, I'm like, what are you doing right now? Right? Like, are you trying to use this person or do you just actually love this person? Right? Because like my brain, it's been conditioned to not know the difference between being possessive and loving someone. Do you know what I mean? Because like, that's how I was raised. Like my grandpa like would hit my mom and hit my sister and hit us, but be like, I love you so much though. I do this because I love you. Like I remember I would like get the shit kicked out of me for like an hour and shit like that. I'd be crying in my bed. Then he'd come to me and sit on my bed and like tell me like, I do this because I love you. Like I love you. I just want you to be better. Da da da. So it's like, oh, that's how you're supposed to treat people. You know what I mean? Right? If you love them.
Yeah.
If you love them so much, like he's crying on the bed, he's asking God for forgiveness, and he's asking me for forgiveness. But then the next day he's hitting me. He's teaching me like, oh, that's how you love someone. If you love someone a lot, you're supposed to be like that, right? Because like he's my grandpa, he's like my dad, he's taking care of me. So like I have to ask myself, and it doesn't really happen with men, obviously, because not obviously because I didn't have a mom. So like it just happens with like a lot of women because that's how we already talked about this, but that's how I got treated. So with women, I have to like take a step back and just be like, are you treating this person for your gain, or are you treating this person for their gain, or is it just a collective? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I feel like, not to say a lot of men, but like I feel like a lot of men have to get there. Like, no, I don't want to say that though, because I'm not trying to.
We're all works in progress.
Yeah, I don't want to say like I'm paving the way for feminism because I'm not. Right, but like I'm just trying to do better for myself because I know that I've done really shitty in the past.
Yeah, same here. I think that's a really good way of putting it.
I've never actually strangled anyone.
And I've never actually wanted to be strangled. So guys, no, I'm just kidding.
Calm down.
No, I'm just kidding. I love being strangled.
Also put on wigs.
Or we can just play something called convergence, which is where we try to say the same word at the same time.
One.
And then I say two. And then we say one at the same time. One, two.
Wheelbarrow.
And I say boat. Okay. So now.
Where'd you get boat? Oh.
Yeah. So the next round of this is we have to both think of a word that brings wheelbarrow and boat together. 1, 2, 3.
Submarine.
I was gonna say submarine, but I didn't say it. Darn it. Okay. But you understand how the game works, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you think of a word first and you start.
Okay. This is exciting. 1,
2. 1 at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Fire. Oh shit.
Do it again.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Glass.
Fire. Okay.
Fire and glass. Oh, okay.
1,
2.
1, 2, 3. Lightning.
Furnace. Furnace. Lightning. Okay, we have to bring those together. 1,
2.
1, 2, 3. Nuclear.
Ah, I messed up. I was gonna say bomb. Oh, I should have said it.
Bomb. Okay, well that's close.
Yeah.
All right. 1,
2.
1,
2,
2, 3.
Atom.
Hiroshima.
Nice.
Atom and Hiroshima. Okay, bring it together. 1,
2.
1,
2,
2,
3.
3.
Anime.
Nagasaki. 1,
2.
1, 2, 3. Japan.
I was gonna say Ghibli.
Ghibli. That's pretty good. 1,
2. 1, 2, 3.
The
Totoro.
Spirit Within. Is it The Spirit Within? Is that what it's called? The Spirit. Spirited Away.
Sorry.
We're on the same timeline.
And what did you say?
Totoro.
Totoro.
They're both Ghibli films.
Okay. 1.
2. 1, 2, 3.
Princess Mononoke. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say Under the Fireflies.
Under the Fireflies? Okay. 1.
2. 1, 2, 3. Hentai.
Cartoon. Wow. Okay, 1.
2.
1, 2, 3.
Teen
Porn.
Titans.
Teen Titans porn? Okay. 1.
2. 1, 2, 3. Kenzie Reeves.
Heavy Metal 2000. What did you say?
Kenzie Reeves.
Kenzie Reeves? What's Kenzie Reeves?
She's just this actress.
Okay. Oh, okay. 1.
Okay, just wait. She's a porn actress.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna click onto that.
Okay.
Mm.
A porn actress? Okay. 1.
2. 1, 2, 3 movies.
Seth Rogen movies? 1.
1, 2. 1, 2, 3 Superbad.
40-Year-Old Virgin!
Oh!
We're trying to say the same thing, but I was gonna say 40-Year-Old Virgin and not Superbad. Okay.
Oh man, you gotta let it.
Okay, 1.
2. 1, 2, 3 funny
Judd
people.
Apatow.
Whoa.
Funny people and Judd Apatow. 1.
2. 1, 2, 3 Freaks and Geeks.
I was gonna say Paul Rudd. Okay,
So Paul Rudd.
Freaks and Geeks and Paul Rudd. Getting closer. 1.
2.
1,
2, 3 Ten Commandments.
Matthew McConaughey and the 10 Commandments.
Yeah, that's a Paul Rudd movie.
Okay. 1.
Wait, what are they?
Judd
Judd Apatow and Matthew McConaughey?
Matthew McConaughey, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, ready? 1.
2. 1, 2, 3. All right,
El
all right,
Camino. All right, and El Camino?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's El Camino from?
El Camino is a movie that Charlton Heston did, and Matthew McConaughey reminds me of Charlton Heston.
Okay.
So it has to be the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
We're gonna get this. 1,
2. 1, 2, 3. Aaron
Brad
Paul.
Pitt. Aaron Paul?
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul?
Because he's in the movie El Camino.
Okay, Aaron Paul and Brad Pitt.
Yeah. 1.
2.
1, 2, 3 Fight Club.
Epstein Island.
What? Why?
I don't know. Because I was just like, oh, Aaron Paul sounds like one of the Paul brothers. He sounds young. And Brad Pitt, I mean, he's probably in the Epstein stuff by now, let's be real. He's in Hollywood, so he fucks kids. But don't quote me on that. I love you, Brad Pitt, but I don't condone fucking kids. What if you just get to Hollywood and you realize you love fucking kids? Is that what happens?
I think it's more so people, they want to be famous, so it's not about fucking kids. Like, it's more so people, so producers in Hollywood, they get, like, a really good actor to do this really shitty thing so that they blackmail.
Oh, it's all about blackmail.
Yeah.
But, like, do they inject them with, like, a horny for kids serum, and then they like, fuck a kid on camera? But, how does that happen?
No, I think it's more so, like, stand by this kid that's been trafficked, we're going to take a picture, and then they don't actually have to fuck the kid. They just have to, like, be a part of the kid who's been trafficked, right? Because, like, how are you going to talk yourself out of that? But, like, I didn't fuck this kid. Like, there's a picture of you with the fucking kid.
Yeah, that's no good. 1.
2.
1, 2, 3, mind control.
I was going to say the Hulk.
The Hulk?
Yeah.
Mind control? Oh, my God. Okay. 1.
2. 1, 2, 3, Marvel.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Okay.
1.
What's that thing called?
Just go easier. Jekyll and Hyde and Marvel, go easier. 1.
Okay. 2. 1, 2, 3, Batman.
Comic book.
Ooh, okay. It's a comic book Batman. Okay. 1.
2.
2.
1, 2, 3,
Joker.
Zero issue. Zero issue?
What's that?
It's like the first issue, but it's the zero issue
Okay.
of a comic book.
Okay.
And you said the Joker?
Yeah, I said the Joker. You said zero issue. Okay. Okay. 1.
2.
1, 2, 3, Dark Knight.
Murderer. Dark Knight Murderer?
What?
The Joker.
Oh, I thought you meant his parents.
Oh.
I thought you meant his parents got murdered. I was like, why would you think? 1.
2. 1,
2, 3, Christopher
Scarecrow.
Nolan. Okay, close. We're close.
Scarecrow.
Okay, Christopher Nolan, Scarecrow. Okay. 1.
2.
1, 2, 3, Inception.
Two-Face.
Oh, so
Two-Face
close.
Inception?
Okay,
Wow. 1.
2. 1, 2, 3, Iron Man.
Wonder Woman.
Oh, we're close. Okay.
Iron Man and Wonder Woman?
Okay.
Okay, 1.
2. 1, 2, 3, Cyborg.
Robert Downey Jr.
Ooh, okay.
Cyborg and Robert Downey Jr.?
Okay.
1.
2.
1, 2, 3, RoboCop.
Ah! I don't know. I was going to say Burger King.
Burger King and RoboCop?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Because Robert Downey Jr., yeah.
Okay, 1.
2. 1, 2, 3, McDonald's.
Oh! You said McDonald's and I said Ronald McDonald,
Yeah.
though.
That's pretty close.
That's pretty close. We has to be the exact word, though. Okay, 1.
2.
1, 2, 3, Big Mac.
Mac.
Ah, we did it! Yes!
That's pretty cool. Wow.
Okay.
The moment you said, the moment we talked about like Burger King, your eyes went up. I was like, oh, she's going to say something Ronald McDonald. Because the hair.
Yeah, because I was like, ah. Okay, thank you for wigging out with me, Arturo.
Fun.
That was really fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Woo! Oh, let's do it like herbal essences.
I can't do it. I don't have long hair.
Oh, my neck. I have a diary. Diarrhea?
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay, so the rule of diarrhea is you go through here, you close your eyes, and you pick one random diary. Boo! Just like my
What's about
boobs.
my diaries?
I know, I wish you did. I'd love to read them. Then you go through, you close your eyes, and you flip through, and the first thing you put your finger on, element is always smoking. Oh,
Is that a note for yourself?
this is probably living with someone who's 20.
I think that's
There's-
your joke book.
There's always crumbs under your feet, and every time they turn on the stove, it sets on fire. Okay, cool. That's me complaining about living with roommates. So here you go, Arturo.
Okay.
Here are all of my diaries. Okay, close your eyes. Okay, flip through and find the one that is calling to you. Let it call to you, Arturo. Let it call to you. Let it call to you, Arturo. Okay,
This
well,
one.
now you're dropping all my documents on the ground.
Oops.
That's okay, you can put those there.
Okay.
This is the one?
Yeah.
Okay, flip through the pages.
Pyramids.
Yeah, here, I'll take all those.
Okay. Oh shit, something's happening.
Oh, low battery. Okay, good, because
Okay.
it's starting to rain and we need to go inside soon. Flip through. Let the pages speak to you, Arturo. Let them speak to you. Let the pages speak to you.
Okay.
All right, now close your eyes and put your finger down on the first sentence that you would like to read. Go for it.
I recently had an experience where I had to tell a guy down. I don't know what that says. A guy down. Neglect.
Regret.
Oh, regret. Item at all.
Let's see.
This one. I had to let a guy down.
I recently had an experience where I had to let a guy down. Reject him at all. Red flags. Answering my questions with questions. You don't text me for a week and a half. I say, well, how... This is back when I was dating people that treated me like shit.
Wow. We went back to it.
Oh, this is a guy named Chris. I think this is actually a guy that I lived with that wanted to date me. He was one of my roommates. What kind of person are you? The type that takes a shit, wipes their ass clean, and then takes a shower? The bathroom fan is broken, so he leaves the bathroom window open during winter and then leaves the house. Oh, I'm just complaining about roommates. I'm always complaining about roommates because roommates...
They suck.
You've had roommates before?
Yeah, they sucked. I had like 5 pothead roommates, so it was the worst because potheads are hippies.
Yeah.
And weed's a gateway drug, so
Yeah. Weed's a gateway drug, yeah.
I like saying that.
Okay, do you want to do one more?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, not this one because we already did this one.
Yeah.
Okay, feel through Tara's
Ooh.
complaints and trauma. Feel through it.
Oh, this one's pretty. Okay, ready?
Flip through the pages, Arturo, and let the pages speak to you. Let them speak to you. Ah, the pages are speaking to you.
Ooh.
This one? Close your eyes.
Yeah.
Move the finger along the page and feel it as if it
went.
is speaking to you.
I'm gay, plus I have hobo style. I'm a homosexual.
This is when I was started to date women, I guess.
So what got you on that track, though?
Um,
Was it that movie with when they drove up Thelma and Louise?
I guess, I wonder where my gayness comes from because there isn't really a lot of gay people in my family, although my brothers have had homosexual experiences just to try it.
Yeah.
I don't think my oldest brother has, but my middle brother and my youngest brother has. Also, my sister, I idolize everything that my sister does. And
She's really nice.
She's awesome. She's amazing. She is my worst enemy, but also brings out the best in me. It's crazy. So she told me once that one of her friends went down on her, who was a girl, and ever since I heard her talk about that, I was just like, oh, so it wasn't a big deal? And she's like, not really. And I was like, okay, so maybe I could do that.
Yeah.
And it really, her not having a stigma against being gay, because obviously having a lot of brothers in my family, they were always like, oh, I'm not fucking gay, but then they'd like be gay with each other. They'd kiss each other on the mouth or like tap each other's ball sack. Like they do gay stuff.
Yeah.
It was always kind of like a running joke, but it wasn't like if you actually are gay, you know, fuck you. It was always kind of like accepted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was never like, oh, like.
I know what you mean because like, so in high school we had this like guy that we used to call like gay, but like the slur gay.
Yeah.
You know, we used to like say slurs and like call him gay because like it was just funny.
Yeah.
But then when we found out he was actually gay, we immediately stopped.
Yeah.
We stopped. We're like, oh shit. Like he's actually gay.
And because
then we felt bad.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God, it was a joke.
Because we know that it's wrong to call gay people gay.
But like the thing is, it's like, because I lived in a small town, I lived in Valley View, and like my high school was like 400 kids. So you knew those kids so well. You just were mean to each other, you know what I mean? And so like we would just call them gay and like it was fun, but we called everyone gay. You called like girls gay, you just didn't care, you know what I mean? And so like we called him gay for the longest time, but then when we found out he was gay in high school, we're like, oh shit. And then
sorry.
We're both like, oh shit, my bad. And so we just stopped bugging him, like, my bad, we didn't know you were gay. We thought like it was like gay.
Yeah, like
gay.
I was actually someone's beard in high school.
What?
A beard, which is a girl you date because you want to keep your gayness a secret.
Oh.
So I was dating this one guy, and he was so nice to me. He was so nice. We would make out all the time, but every time I'd go to touch his dick, he'd be like, I got to go hang out with my mom now.
That's funny.
So yeah. And then I found out, I was like, what the fuck is your problem? Are you fucking gay or something? So I feel really bad for like saying that. I never said that to his face. I said that like behind his back to one of my friends, but still you shouldn't say that. Because he was actually gay. And then I ended up talking to him later and being like, I'm so sorry if I was, you know, if I molested you because you didn't want that.
I find that I'm definitely straight because like even when I'm drunk and like high, I want women, you know? So like I'm definitely straight, but I definitely would be into like, cause like I'm seeing someone right now. Like we're not like in an exclusive relationship, but like we're in an open, like we're together openly. You know, if that makes sense. Yeah. I don't want to say it's like lesser than dating though.
Well, yeah, it depends on what your conversation is about. Like, how long have you been together?
About like a year. Okay. But like openly. Because here's the thing.
Like in an open relationship or you're open to people that you're with together?
No, like an open relationship.
I see.
Yeah. Because like the thing is, it's like after you have an addiction for so long, you're like kind of kept in your bubble for so long. And then after I got out of the addiction, I was working in a hotel for 2 years and the pandemic happened. So I never really got to like live my life, you know, because I was in addiction, then hotel, and then yada, yada. So then like, I just asked her, I was like, I want to be with you, but like, I don't, and I love you, but like, I'm not ready for like an exclusivity of like being with you right now because like, I've never really felt like independence, you know.
What else is out there?
Yeah. Like I have money, I have a car, like I'm in a good shape right now. So like why, and it's not about just the sex with other women. It's just like being alive with like people, you know, like I want to go to a show and just like be able to like be flirty or like just enjoy myself without like having to tell someone where I am all the time. Like those kind of stuff. I'm not ready for that yet.
That's so interesting.
But the thing is, it's like, back to like me because her and I have talked about this. She's open to a threesome, but also I'm all with like a girl and a girl. But also I've said like I'd be down watching someone have sex with you.
Mhm.
I don't know what that means for my sexuality, but I'd be okay with that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because then it's like it's an interactive porn, basically.
I think so
You
because
know?
like I definitely have like I'm trying to. I've cut down my porn like significantly, but I definitely had like a problem with porn, and like porn fucks up your brain.
Oh yeah,
And, like,
I've had a
this-
problem with it. Like
the same-
everybody, it's you're just like I can just see this now.
Yeah,
like,
and the thing
yeah.
is, it's like porn releases the same dopamine high that cocaine does.
Yeah.
So obviously, after cocaine, like porn happened, and it was like whoa, boom. But I was always watching porn, but like
Yeah.
And so, anyways, back to the gay thing. So like, I don't think like I know I'm not gay, but like I think I'd be open to a guy kissing my neck. You know,
You
I'm
never know too. There's
I'm comfortable around dudes doing gay stuff with
Yeah.
me.
yeah.
Like a lot of my guy friends, like we always act gay, and like it's just fun and funny. But like, yeah,
in a way that you feel safe, that you
Yeah.
still feel like you're having fun. It's playful too. Like
yeah,
sex
playful.
isn't meant to be like let's fuck. Like it's really just adult play.
Yeah.
And whatever that entails, it might not even come to penetration of any kind.
Yeah.
It could just be like intimacy
Mhm.
and that sort of thing.
So I had this gay experience once where like this guy, it was a time when I was using it and I was like on MDMA and this guy was on MDMA and he's like, have you ever like tried gay stuff? I'm like, no, I don't think I'm gay. He's like, well, what if you tried it? You don't know. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm not. And he's like, how about this? I start sucking your dick. If you get hard, you're probably gay. I'm like,
Nice.
okay.
That's
So-
how they get you.
And so like I put my dick in his mouth and I was laying on the bed and like it was in his mouth just like there and it was like flaccid and like it wouldn't get hard.
Mhm.
And then he looks at me with like my flaccid dick in his mouth and he's like, I don't think you're gay. I'm like, yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
at
I
least
said.
you tried. You gave it the old college try.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, but I told him, I was like, I don't, yeah.
Yeah, like I tried being in a relationship with a woman and it was the best because women really care about people. That's actually like, I think one proclivity that women have is they're really interested in people and men are really interested in things, which
Yeah.
is not like a materialistic declaration that I'm making, but it's just kind of how it is. Like I was listening to this one podcast where they said they did a study on these monkeys called bonobos. And if you give a female bonobo, like even this, she'll treat it like it's a baby. Even if it's a block of wood, especially if it's a doll, she'll treat it like it's a baby. She'll show it to all of her girlfriends. If you give this to a male bonobo, he will rip it open and see what's inside. Like and we share like 95% or 99% DNA with bonobos, I'm pretty
Whoa, that's
sure.
crazy.
Even closer to chimps, right? Same thing,
Wow.
same behavior with chimps.
Yeah.
So I think, where was I going with that? I was like, females are more interested in people and men are more interested in things. And what were we just talking about before that?
We were talking about gay experiences.
Oh,
and
gay
why
experiences.
you liked dating women.
Oh, because women, yeah, they're typically, like this is a generality. There's obviously like all the extremes, but generally speaking, women are more like conscientious and like caring about people, and men are more the opposite side of that spectrum generally. And I really liked dating women because I felt so cared about. I was always asked about what I was thinking, how I'm doing. I was constantly checked in on, texts, calls. Quality time was a huge thing. But because I was raised by my dad and I have 3 brothers, because my mom and I didn't speak for like 10 years during those formative years, because I am very a masculine type of woman and I tend to go over more to the masculine side, I ultimately was not interested in being the masculine part of that female. I want to feel small in someone's arms.
Yeah.
I
love being a little spoon.
I want to check in on someone too, so I didn't like how the dynamic of in the male female, like the feminine masculine relationship of a lesbian relationship. I didn't like how I automatically became the more masculine one because I want to be feminine.
Yeah.
So I also felt like, and I talk about this on stage, I'm like, yeah, when I dated women, I paid for everything for some reason. Like, oh, I'm the rich one? That's funny because I'm fucking broke.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting. It was great though, because then I started having that like treatment. That was like my base now for how I expect to be treated by the man that is in my life that I'm intimate with. So Dan is amazing. Dan checks in. Dan is helpful. He does acts of service. He checks all the boxes of like this sort of, because he is a more feminine male.
Yeah.
Like he checks the boxes of these feminine characteristics, but he also is a breadwinner. He also is physically capable. He's strong. He has competence. He has confidence. You know, my insecurity bullshit, like, oh, I'm feeling fat or I'm feeling ugly today or whatever. That shit goes over his head.
That's nice.
He doesn't play into it. He doesn't try to manipulate me because of that. He's very he's a very conscientious man.
I find that like a good relationship is like you're both well ended in your own like spectrum, right? It's not about like being feminine or being masculine. It's like you're your own person. Like you can stand on your own. Like what I like about Emily is like she's an electrician, you know, so she makes money.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
She's a camp mommy.
Yeah.
You know, that's gross.
Here, go like this.
Oh.
Yeah. Got it.
Got it. Okay. What's nice about Emily, like, she's independent. She has her drivers. She's independent. She makes her own money. She can like take care of herself, you know. But at the same time, she lets me take, like, kind of like what you're saying. She lets me take care of her. But we also like just take care of each other. I think I think the age of like, oh, this is a man's job. This is what you do. This is what a woman does. This is what she does. Is done. You know, you both should be like able to stand on your own, and you guys do. Like you and Dan do. Like you're your own person. Like you have a job. You do you have your production company. Like you do your own thing. He does his own thing. But it sounds like you guys can come together and like kind of support each other, but not like lean on each other. Like depend on each other. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
And I will also say, as I've gotten older, I have become more traditional in my and how I live my life.
Yeah.
In how like there are things that men do and there's things that women do.
Yeah.
And I don't think that being egalitarian, where like the roles can be actually switched, I don't think that that's impossible. I think that it's beautiful. I think that it has very much to do with like the LGBTQ community has also just brought out so much possibility for all the different identities that you can feel strong and powerful within. I think it's so important because the nuclear family was really stifling for a lot of people for a very long time. Like, look at our parents. Well,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're right, because my grandpa was like, you're the woman, you stay inside.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to do whatever I want because I take care of like everything outside.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
And it became toxic.
Yeah, because like
or weaponized.
Yeah, because my grandpa, he would like we had a conversation the other day. He's like, I don't think gay people can like take care of a family. Like that's really weird. And I'm like, I told him like, Grandpa, you've been divorced 6 times.
What's better? Like,
but I was like, Grandpa, you've been divorced 6 times. None of your kids talk to you. You can't engage with what marriage should look like because like you've never had a good marriage.
Yes.
And he's like, oh no. I'm like, oh no.
Good marriages exist and traditional values and stuff work for some people.
Yeah.
And I've started to notice that as I've gotten older and as I've been in my relationship longer, my ideology of what my life, how my life gets better and how I become happier and more and progress more in my life has become more traditional. Like I've started to think about what my life is going to look like with this man 5-10 years down the road. Yeah. You know, and I think that's not for everyone, but it's for some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also it sounds like you're not fully because like it sounds like you are going to the way of traditional, but I think like your traditional is like more modern because like you are doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Eventually, like there was a time where Dan was just supporting me. Yeah. But there's also going to be a time where I get to a point in my career where I might make more than him.
Exactly.
But and he might want to stop working and go to school. Yeah. And then I'll support him. Yeah. And that's just kind of like, we can both do that because women have the same opportunities as men do now. And that's just like, it's up to us to, keep those opportunities sacred. Yeah. And try to bank on them, like try and take advantage of, I can make as much, if not more than a man because of whatever the society that we live in, the opportunities that being the privileges that I have been birthed with.
Yeah.
Like, I should really try to use those to my advantage and,
I think-
and for the common good of
Yeah,
people too.
Well, I think in this day and age, like, it's the best time to be alive because like we have so many opportunities of just like someone is just able to do stand-up comedy and have a part-time job, you know?
Yeah.
Like before it was like, no, you get a job, you get a family, you support them or you support yourself. Like you have 3 jobs, you know? And that's all you do, right? But now it's like you can be an artist, but also like you can have a job and stuff like that. Like I know things are hard for people, but like coming from someone that like used to be homeless, a drug addict, like it's not impossible, you know what I mean? Like you kind of have to like learn how to like cut the fat, like budget, things like that. Like I know things are tough, but at the same time, things are really good because like everyone should have rights. Everyone does have rights, you know? Obviously, like there's like injustices and things like that, but like it's not legal anymore. Like there's a time and age where like people were known to just not care, you know? Like it was okay, but now it's not. Now people speak up. Now you can get protests. Now you can like go on social media and like talk about like how things are unjustified, things like that, you know? Like we know about like inconsistencies like of war and things like in like Iran and like Ukraine. Like we know about these things now. But before it was like you just were in your nuclear family and like that's it.
Your bubble.
Yeah, that's all you knew. You know?
And all you knew was what was coming through just like this one television and you know, the propaganda of whatever that news media station wants you to know is how they're spinning it. Now we can get our information from anywhere. I mean, it's limited in Canada now because there are restrictions on the content that Canadians can actually take now. I don't know if you know about that or
I don't even vote.
The policies. Yeah, so that's okay. I didn't vote up until recently, only because my mom tells me to. But now I think like the majority of the content that we are going to have visible, that the algorithm is going to show us on YouTube, is Canadian content. So 80% of the content on YouTube is actually filtered by the government, and the algorithm is meant to only show us Canadian content, which is unfortunate because that might be propaganda. So if you want to look for what's actually going on in the world or what the narrative is about, say, the trucker convoy that not only happened in Canada, but is happening all over the world, like in the place like the Netherlands.
Yeah, is that in place right now?
US. There's other convoys going on, especially in, there's the farmers, oh yeah, sorry, your battery's gonna die.
No, that's okay.
There's like a farmers convoy that's going on in Denmark? No, what is the Netherlands? Where is the Netherlands? Or, like, what's that?
I don't know where we are.
What's that one country where Holland? Thank you. Okay, the Dutch. The Dutch farmers have this like huge protest going on right now because their government is actually allocating all of their land. They're making fertilizer too expensive because of carbon emissions, something like this. And so the Dutch farmers, who are so efficient at farming and who produce and export like a huge percent of the agricultural for the world, their land is actually being taken by the government through like high taxation. So the Canadian convoy that happened, although there was other like hangers-on who tried to be like, this is actually for the Nazis or this is actually because of white supremacy, and they're trying to like spin it so that the truckers seemed like something that was evil. It actually wasn't. It was actually like, well, these are the grassroots people, the truckers, the farmers, the people who actually like are Canadians and like are trying to support our natural resources and like feed our country from here and not just exporting from all over the country or from all over the world. They're the ones here who are working hard to like feed Canadians. And why is the government trying to convince us that those people are evil? Like those are our neighbors. We're supposed to unite. We're not supposed to be separated.
Yeah, I find that like, and that's what it's a good point with the nuclear family. Like, they're all just came from one media. Like, we are living in an age where like it's up to you where you get your media. Like, you have to understand what like they're throwing at you. Like the whole submarine thing. Like, there's the whole story about that, right? But like when that stuff happens, what's happening beyond that? Like, why are they showing you that? Because like if you looked at a submarine story, when that was happening, there was like, I think like they said like $2.3 million, like the Pentagon just like lost or something like that.
Yeah, there's other stuff going on right now. Like the protests in Iran are like women are being hanged because they're showing their
but like they were like
and
submarine. It's like, man, like what else is happening though?
who died in a cobalt mine that you're not talking about?
Yeah.
Like there's these terrible atrocities going on all over the world, but social media has this way of only trending the stuff that is going to distract us, not inform us.
Yeah.
So yes, you're 100% right. Depending on where we get our news, I listen to people like Jordan Peterson a lot, okay? A lot. And I know that he's very polarized with like how he is. But I take it with a grain of salt because the stuff that he's been able to teach me about other philosophers and historians, I would not have received that information about history and these incredible like patterns of history that take place. That would not have been palatable to me. I would never have read Dostoevsky. I never would have. I never would have known that information that he wrote about the the Soviet Union and how it was so terrible, like, and how it's really important that we don't repeat that in modern Canada.
Yeah, because
communism,
because I find like speakers like that, you should, when you have like speakers like that, I think you should only take them for a grain of salt. Like just take the information that you want, but don't think like them, because like their whole thing is like, I don't think like other people. You know what I mean? Like this is like nuanced kind of stuff. So it's like just take what you need, but like don't give in to those things, right? Because it's like if you look at like the ancient philosophers, right? Like Plato or Homer or things like that, like they were saying some cool stuff, but at the same time, you don't know what kind of lives they were living. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they didn't have calculus yet, maybe
I mean
maybe they did, but they didn't. Like, they didn't have like a general understanding.
Who's that one?
Like George Washington had slaves, so it's like, how can you?
But then he got us our independence from like the British.
Yeah,
you have to take things with a grain of salt. You know.
And also, who's to say if I wasn't living in those times that I wouldn't have owned slaves because that was the norm? You know,
that's the thing.
Who's to say that if we weren't in Nazi Germany right now, we wouldn't be part of the SS Guard because that was actually a really prestigious job to have at the time? How do we know that?
Yeah.
And people would say, I would never do that to the Jews. And it's like, it depends on where you got your media information from.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. It's like, I agree that people are like, well, I would never do that. It's like, because the Canadian government with residential schools, like we've already done that. Like as Canadians, we've already done that kind of stuff. Yeah. You can't say like as a Canadian, like I've never done that. It's like we've already done it. Like we've already done it, you know?
It's hard for people to say, and especially hard for people to hear, that all that stuff happened because someone was trying to do a good thing. I think mostly as Canadians, we want to do the right thing. We want to do a good thing. But along the way, when people are trying to do a good thing, you have some people, you know, the narcissists, the Machiavellians, you know, the sadists who exist, even if it's 1 out of 400,000 people, they still exist. They're the ones who dance in the streets during a protest or a riot because they love it. They want to see the world burn. The Joker, you know?
Yeah.
Even though those people are few and far between, they still exist. And when a good thing is trying to happen, if there might be a little bit of a vulnerability, they'll exploit it.
Yeah.
So someone who's like, wow, we're trying to help these kids learn English and have God in their life, because God is, from a based idea, God is a good thing. It's important, even in our sobriety, to believe in a higher power, because what else do we have when we're completely and utterly alone? God.
Yeah.
But there's one person who works at that fucking school who's attracted to fucking kids. Yeah. And it's like...
And like the thing is, I can agree that like the idea of like teaching a child like English and math and yada yada was a good idea, but executed terribly. Like that was a terrible fucking execution.
It was not a very good, it was a good idea, but terrible execution.
But what I fucking hate so much is like, a lot of people, they look down on Aboriginals and they don't understand the generational trauma of like what happened. Yeah. They're like, oh, they're drunks, they're addicts. It's like, you don't, or like, I fucking hate hearing, oh, they get stuff for free. It's like, no, they don't. They don't get anything for free. Like on the reserve, you have to live on the reserve. And on that reserve, it's fucking shit. It's like a third world country.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what the government wants. They want,
and you're in that environment all the time.
and like they
and
want,
that's all you know.
and they want the government wants you, the people, to be like, oh, natives, they fucking get shit for free. I have to work for my stuff. It's like, you don't want to live on the reserve. No one wants to live on the fucking reserve.
We get to live here.
Yeah, like you're lucky you get to pay for like things, because like that means you have a good job. That means like you probably like paid for a nice house, like things like that. Like
that your neighbors aren't trying to fuck with you.
yeah,
all the
like
time.
it's not
because
a good,
they have nothing.
It's not a good time on the reserve, man. It's a fucking terrible place.
Yeah.
And I will always bring this up when we talk about like First Nations, because like I've worked in construction crews, and like some guys are like, yeah, well, First Nations like they get they don't pay taxes. I'm like, they fucking pay taxes.
Yeah.
They fucking pay taxes. Like, are you dumb? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just makes me mad. I don't like that. But at the same time, I don't agree with. I think the Canadian government should. Oh, sorry. So like a lot of people, they're like, so like, the government should do this. The government should do this, and like they do it, right? The government's like, okay, we'll give you a day. You get this day, but it's like they didn't have to do anything. Do you know what I mean? Like the government didn't have to do anything to give that day, because like there's Aboriginal Day, right? And that's cool, but like it happened on the same day of Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
So it's like you're
just piggybacking on another day.
You're like,
and also it's a daily importance.
But here's the thing. It's like you gave them Cinco de Mayo, so all the Caucasian people, all the people that should be part of this fucking thing are now getting drunk. They're not even like involved in this thing.
Yeah.
Well, you're still creating a divide between people.
Yeah.
You have all this like First Nations people like celebrating their fucking day, their culture, but then at the same time you have like all this Caucasian people that should be learning about this stuff,
but they're not
celebrating Cinco de Mayo. It's like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Could you just make it July 11th?
Can you just give them like I don't know? And
can you make it December 9th? And like, what are you doing?
The other thing too, it's like, I don't like when people are like, well, white people are bad, white people are this, da, da. It's like, that's not what all Canada is about, though. Like, I'm Canadian, I'm Hispanic, like, I'm from Nicaragua, like, that's where my family's from. Like, you have, like, Muslim people, you have Afghani people, you have, like, all these other fucking people that, like, came here to live life, so they should be able to celebrate Canada's Day. But I don't agree that, like, the Canadian government should stop Canada Day, because like that's been in the talks about like fireworks not happening, Canada Day should be abolished, da da da. But at the same time, I think Canada Day should be celebrated, but I think it should be celebrated with everyone. It shouldn't just be Canadians are hockey, this, because we're not. We have so much life around us.
Yeah.
But at the same
time, there's
like
a huge Somali community here. There's like so many African people that live here. There's a huge Indian population,
but
Hispanic, like it's everyone.
Yeah,
Everyone's
but at the same time,
Korean.
I think it should be more cultural with like the Aboriginals of Canada, right? Like everyone should, like in your hometowns, you should like on that day you should learn about Aboriginal culture, because they were here first.
Yeah.
And then that gives, but at the same time, you shouldn't hide residential schools. You know, you shouldn't hide those things either. Like on that day, you should teach about those things.
Yeah.
You should be like, this is what we did. This is what we're trying to do to stop it. And like, you know,
we're trying to help.
Yeah, like these are the things we can do. Like it should be a day of like knowledge and celebration, but also like heartbreak, right? Because like that, if we're celebrating a year of Canada, like the year of Canada isn't always happy. You know, we should be reminded of like things that like happened,
like a
right?
Remembrance Day.
Yeah, like kind of like Remembrance Day. No one's like, haha, like yeah, like we won. Everyone's like, man, a lot of people died. It really sucked. Like, you know, but at the same time, it's
so that we can enjoy.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like a celebration of our freedom. Like we're not in a Nazi regime, right? Mm-hmm. We're not like in a German regime. Like we're living our lives as people,
and it's not perfect because there's still war all over the world.
But I think Canada Day should be like. Thank you for saying it. But I think Canada Day should be like Remembrance Day, where it's like you have this cultivated thing where you learn about the heartaches, but also you celebrate the life you can have, right? And then we can finally like start fixing things. Because at the same time, if like Canada Day is just abolished, you're actually like giving the government and Canadian government less work.
Yeah.
Because now they don't have to pay you on Canada Day, because that's a stat holiday.
Yeah.
They don't have to pay for fireworks, da da da. They don't have to do that.
Cancel culture doesn't work.
Yeah.
You can't just cancel something. Like let's cancel cancel culture, actually, and instead, do what you said. Make it about Remembrance Day. We should stop canceling things and start talking about it more.
Yeah, because like once you start canceling things, that's where like you forget that stuff happened, so like it'll repeat itself.
Yeah.
Right? Like in Germany,
Yeah.
they didn't close down like Auschwitz. It's a fucking museum.
Yeah.
Right? In Germany, so like everyone knows
Everyone
like
can
this is what we did. Look, this is what the people that died. This is terrible. We can't do this again, right? But like we should do that. Like we should like I don't know, just like educate people, because like if you just cancel things, if you just like forget about things, it's easier for the government who should be paid who should be like fixing the reserves, you know, fixing the land.
Lets them off the hook.
Yeah, basically, right? Because then the government's like, oh, the First Nations don't want to do Remembrance Day, so we're not gonna, or Canada Day, so we're not gonna do it for them. So we're just not gonna do it. So now the Caucasian community, or like the community that already like has a stigma on First Nations, they now have another thing to hate. And then the First Nations have another thing to be fearful
and it
about.
separates us even more.
Yeah, it separates us. Like, and then the Canadian government has a scapegoat. They're like, oh, this is what you guys wanted. We're not going to do anything. We don't have to. You know, we're just going to let you guys fight amongst each other. It's like, fuck, man.
So I think this is a good note to actually end this on is let's unite. Let's bring each other together. Let's get together in the tall grass with white linens on and just describe our ideas that we have. Like, let's not segregate ourselves. Let's bring ourselves together. Let's focus on how we can be good to each other. Let's focus on how good we can be at what we're doing. Let's try and lift everybody up.
But then all at the same time, like remembering the things we did wrong and what we can do better.
And not repeat it.
Yeah. 100%. Thank you so much. This has been fun.
Yeah, this was really fun, Arturo. Thanks for coming by today. And
I just say bye to the podcast. Bye.
Bye, podcast.
Bye. I don't know why I looked at the microphone.
Okay. I love you, podcast.
Bye.
Okay, I got to take a shit.